Welcome everyone to the first session for our Selenium Live project. What we're going to do in this session is basically we're going to present to you and bring you up to speed on what we expect from you. We're going to introduce you to the project. We will talk about a high level test plan. We will talk about the roles and responsibilities for each of us. We will talk about the application under test, what we will do in terms of the scope of testing, the scope of automation, and the overall time frame for this project. And just for information, Manoj will be our technical lead, and he will be coordinating with each of us on various activities that are going to go forward with this project. Now, team, please do note that while most of you are here more from a learning perspective, but we have selected you upon screening so that you could perform the activities that are required to do an actual execution for our project. All right. So without any further delay, I'm going to walk you through some of these quick pointers and then we can go forward. So I'm going to take a quick Word document and I'll start writing out few informations there. So what is the first thing that I put there? Any time during the overall presentation, if you have questions, feel free to put it in chat. Manoj, are you able to see the chat from the participants?
Yes, Karthik, I can see.
So then we can together look at the what's coming up and guide them accordingly. All right. Okay, there you
Okay,
go.
yes.
So thanks, Manoj. So here it is, intro to the project. I didn't really order them, and you can correct me, Manoj, as we go along on what should be the order of things and so on. So I'm going to introduce you to the project team at a high level, and the project introduction will be along with the application under test. So I'm going to introduce you to the application also out here. Okay. So most of you probably already have an idea of what application we're going to take. We will talk about QA on air. All right. This is going to be the application that you will be working on aggressively for the entire duration of the project. Okay. So QAOnAir.com. Now, how many of you have an idea of this specific application? Or let's see how many of you are not aware of what this application is all about, even to the high, to a certain level. Anyone who's really not sure of what this application is all about? I'm anyway going to do a quick walkthrough, but I just want to see. No idea. No, not aware of this application. I don't have any idea, Karthik. Um, no problem. Either way, I'm going to do a detailed walkthrough, but I just wanted to know how many of you are aware because for the last 1 month, we've been doing some aggressive discussions around this platform. So I'm going to introduce you to what the application is, and I'm also going to talk about what are going to be the roles and responsibilities from my end. In fact, I'm going to cover this before we get into the high level test plan. Okay. Um, I'm going to increase the size of this document so that it fits the whole screen. There you go. You know what? This font is not very comfortable for me for some reason. Let's try Calibri. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so QAOnAir.com team is basically a portal that enables clients to select and hire remote QA engineers who work part-time on direct projects. Okay, and basically all the QA engineers are pre-screened and QA on air ready to work on these projects. So this is basically trying to pick some of the best talent that we have globally, who are probably already into full-time projects, employed in other companies and so on. And this whole application is basically giving a platform where clients are able to come in and provide requirements, and consultants are able to apply uh, for the overall program. And then we at QA on Air team will be mapping them together, so they will be working with each other over a period of time. Now, this is an application that is on a pre-beta release. So when I say pre-beta, what do I mean? This is not yet launched. It doesn't have many of the expected functional areas. But what that also means is it is a great time to start automation, testing, and to grow that as the application grows. Many a times we come into a situation where the application is already there. It's a huge application, all done, dusted, and it is live. Then we have to get into the automation. So what happens is we have to go undercover for almost between 2 to 6 months to create that automation regression test suite, and then start seeing the benefits of it. In this case, our advantage is that we do not have to build entire thing to begin with. We can build it as the application grows as well. Anyway, that's a sideline. So pre-beta is limited functionality, not tested yet, okay, and many functional gaps. So what does that mean? For example, if you go to the website, there are two main areas like clients, where the clients are able to come and say, hey, I want to get QA engineers, QA staff on air. When I say on air, what it basically means is remote. It could be anyone who is in the same country as the client. It could be people who are in an absolute remote location across the world, and so on. But the idea is the services are being provided over air. All right, that's the whole concept. I don't know why that particular page is not loading yet. See, get QA on air. Let me go to consultants and see. This was not happening earlier. It's surprising if it's happening now. I'm going to give it a minute, team, so I can give you a detailed walkthrough of what we're going to do with it. Radhi, just to let you know, this is not a forum where I am going to answer any of your technical questions. I will not. You have issue with Eclipse, you have issue with Java, and so on. I will not be able to answer or address anything. I am focused on a project execution. You have to find your solution. You have the entire forum, entire technical team at IT Learn. Take help from that, please. All right. So, team, I'm still waiting for this. There you go. So, let me try and go to clients and see if this loads up. This is the consultants. Okay, get QA on it. So here is the section which talks about how the clients are working to get the QA services on air. Okay, so how it works, how the whole program is. It is explained at a very, very high level, but primarily the focus is to mention that what the services is all about. And then we are talking about a form that the clients could use to submit their requirements. Once we get access to that requirement, we take it and then start searching from the database of consultants that we have who will fit, pre-screen them, shortlist them, present it to the client for the final evaluation, and get them onboarded. So this is where the process could start. And then there is another process where the consultants themselves are present. So if you see, these pages are not completely developed. These pages do not have all the information that is required to go with ease in terms of how we execute the entire functionality, but limited functionality is available. All right. Now, apart from what I've just mentioned, give me a second, please. If my voice is breaking up, it could be fairly because of the fact that the page is loading. And but what will happen is, every session is getting recorded. when you see the recording, you will see that there should have been no issue in the recording at that time. But bear with me for a second. There you go. So here is the page for consultants seeking QA work on air, and you will see that the format of the form itself is pretty much different from what you saw in the first page. So what will happen is you will have to go through this entire application, do a quick walkthrough. The good thing for you is there are no more than 5-6 pages overall. I would say more like under 10 pages. But each page has titles, each page has a specific set of information and so on. So the first thing is do a quick, not a quick, a detailed walkthrough. In fact, I'm going to take an Excel and start writing down some of these. Manoj, what we'll need to do is, as part of our follow-up with the teams, we will need to look at tasks and how we're coming up with each of them. All right. Also, Manoj, did we get a chance to
Okay, Karthik.
divide the members into teams yet, or we're still waiting for the final list?
Yeah, Karthik, we are waiting for final list, and I think after this session, I am going to distribute in teams. So most probably today we can do that,
Very nice.
or maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah,
And
because
I
sorry.
will let them know who is in which team.
All right, and so basically we'll talk about that also: roles and responsibilities, time frame, and project teams. What each team is going to be doing, how this is going to work. So here, high level tasks. Okay, owner status. Okay, so just put a quick task list, which is talking about a task that each of us have to do, and who's the owner or who it is for, and then the status of it. Have we completed it or not? Each of you may maintain a separate sheet at your level to manage them. So one of the first tasks that I want to do, give you, is to application AUT walkthrough. Okay, this is all. Status is to start. The idea here is I want each of you to make sure that everything that you do is well documented. Okay, team, this is a project. What output you're going to give is going to be very, very critical for the overall project success. So your role is very important. Make sure that you're not treating it as a training and being as a listener. Some of the thumb rules, I'm going to talk about that too. Okay, thumb rules for the project. And in fact, you can set your own rules, team. You could give inputs as to what those rules could be as we go along. So the first thing is application walkthrough. What do I mean by application walkthrough? Open this application, qaonair.com, and start going through the application. Okay, you don't have to necessarily fill a form and go through it and so on. I will do a detailed walkthrough, or Manoj may be doing uh, a detailed walkthrough, and let you know on what the functionality is and so on. But in the meanwhile, you have the access to it, so you can start walking through. Manoj, where are we going to place all these documents that I create, you create, the teams will create?
I think Karthik, Google Drive will be a good place to have the all these, because that will be easy to share with everyone. So we will use that Google Drive folders
Will
and
the
their
team require
space.
Google accounts for it?
Yes, it is required.
Okay.
They should own one Gmail account.
So team, I'll request each of you, if you don't have one, you have to open one. Either way, it's just like, even if I try and put it in Dropbox or Amazon or anywhere else also, you should create an account to be able to access the information. So please create an account and keep it ready. Okay, create a Google account for file sharing. Sorry. So I hope each of you have this URL, right? All right, anyways, I'm just putting it there. Okay, so let's go back to our drawing board. drawing board where we're talking about what we're doing. So you have to do a detailed self walkthrough. This is a self walkthrough. Okay. Now, as part of the um, scope of test and AUT walkthrough, this is something that I will do. And to start, and I'll also put a date somewhere here. See, what we're trying to do, team, is as we go along, we are building custom templates that we will use. Okay. So this is 121. So this is immediate. You're not going to wait for these two. This I will be doing it in tomorrow's session. We have session tomorrow, right? But if it's too early, then we can look into it. But team, anytime there is a change in the schedule, and sorry about yesterday, it was an absolute chaos. I was stuck in a very remote place and just could not come back on time. But luckily, Manoj could at least join and let you know. What would happen is very simple, team. We will go to our trainings, and here you will see the schedule for the sessions. And what we will typically do is go here and change the date. As soon as we change the date here, it will show up to you on your system. Okay, that hey, this date was changed. We are moving this session. All right. Unfortunately, I think yesterday what happened is we added today's session, but we did not delete yesterday's session, and that is where the confusion came to most of you, and you've joined. So Manoj, I think that was the one slip that happened from our side. Just letting you know for a future consideration. What will happen is any change in the time schedule for any reason, you will get an email directly from here. So we will go here, edit the schedule, and you will get an automatic notification. So please keep an eye on what we are sending to you on that. Okay. So this is a high level overview. Now let's talk about roles and responsibilities. Any questions that you are having on your mind, meanwhile, feel free to put them within the chat for now. I'm going to show you all a place later where you can do that, uh, hopefully on our project itself. Um Manoj, there will be two questions, right? Project related questions, technical questions, and so on. Where should we take those?
I think Karthik, for technical queries, I think our forum will be good, and they can use that. There is one forum, Selenium Live project, they can use. And for general queries like where to place documents and how should prepare the documents, I think we should create one uh, Google document and where we keep all this information.
So that you going to do then Google. Okay, doc. Okay, this will be an FAQ or no Q&A doc on Google Drive. This is what we'll do, right? And Manoj, you'll be doing this, right? So this probably we can send it by tomorrow. So this will be a common doc which is shared with everyone, and that document will be in the Google Drive, and any questions will be asked there and answered there, just like how we did for our Master of Software Testing training, correct? So I am the project owner team. So basically, I have the all the details about the project of what I expect to do. I am also the business owner, or who knows uh, well about the application and the test and the functionality. So anything that you need regarding the application and so on, all that information will be at my end. Now, am I also going to be the technical architect? Not necessarily. I don't want to do that portion. Okay. I want to you to work along with Manoj and along with your team members and look at it as needed. If there's any advice, then I will definitely pitch in. But right now, I want to stick to this role. Manoj will be your project lead. All right. So, and he'll also be a technical architect slash advisor. I'm calling more of an advisor. The reason is I want him to advise you. I want you to do it. The intent is very simple, team. There are two intents of the whole project. Actually, this should be number one then. Why this project? Okay. Number one is the application under test needs to be tested before we get into our beta phase. All right. Two, actual hands-on experience and confidence boost for all project members. So this will give you so much confidence, team, that you will be able to appear with a lot of authority and a lot of understanding of how things work when you go to your interviews and other evaluation areas. Okay. So that's the reason I want to make sure that you know why this project is going to be happening. Anyway, I think I mentioned this in the previous session also, but repeating it just in case. So high level now, Manoj is going to be the project lead and technical architect advisor. The reason I went to that why portion is so that you know the reason I'm saying he's an advisor. I want him to advise only. I want you to do a lot of hard work. Okay, you are the one who's going to really spend time, effort, and a lot of focus in making sure that everything that we do is well covered. All right, so please do not forget to look into it. Give me a quick second. I'm going to save this document. Session 01 intro. I'm going to call this as intro and intro. All right, there you go. Manoj is the project lead. Now, team members. Each of you will be working as the project members. Okay, technical, automation engineers. You will be playing the automation engineers team. You will also be the manual test engineers. So automation is never 100%. The expectation is to maximize the automation, and we're going to talk about that in scope of testing. But you will have to try and see which portions you can automate, which portions you will leave manually, which are part of the regression test suite, and so on. All those details you'll have to put. Then for the tech support, you will use our project here. So Selenium automation, I think all the questions are out here. You can use this forum to put your question. Technical support. All right, team. So far I've mentioned all these. I'm going to quickly go through this and then I'll take questions. Any questions? We will handle it a little later. So high level test plan. This is one of the other deliverables. So this is supposed to be done. Team members need to work on a not very complex test plan. Okay. Word doc. Okay. And covers all that we expect to do as part of the project. Why is this important? One, we are documenting how we plan to execute the entire project. You will have a great hands-on experience in knowing how you do one and where the critical automation portions come and so on. This is going to be an overall test plan. Automation is part of it. So it's going to include manual and automation. Any critical questions that is coming up at the moment? Let me see. Give me 1 quick minute, please, and Manoj, then we can start handling few of the questions that are coming up. So high level test plan is another thing that you will need to work on. So make sure that this is part of the tasks. High level test plan. This is supposed to be done by the team. Okay, team members. I'm going to call you each of you as team members. So you will have to complete this. Hopefully you should be able to do this by end of this week, which is going to be let's see, uh, we are on 21st. By 24th, should this be ready? Let's see how it goes. I think it should be ready, because again, how many pages? Probably 3-4 pages, nothing more than that. Part of what I have done here in a very, very raw manner will be uh, the inputs into the test plan. Okay, and we're going to talk about how each of you going to work on this and so on. Then application and the test. As discussed above, right? So this I don't need to focus completely on anymore. Scope of testing and automation. Let's talk about this a little. So what is in scope and of automation? The current pre-beta release, all right, complete functional UI integration and system testing. We will also be doing cross browser, and we will also be doing mobile testing. Okay, now some of this could be limited, some of this could be more aggressive. That is fine, we will discuss that later. As part of automation, the good part of automation is tool of choice is already done, so you don't have to worry about, we don't have to worry about that, and that's going to be Selenium. Okay, Selenium with WebDriver and Java JUnit. All right, now as part of automation, what do we expect? What do I expect? Do I expect tests from Selenium IDE? No problem, I'm fine. Okay, but you have to explain why you did few tests in Selenium IDE. You may do Selenium WebDriver with plus Java JUnit. No problem. You can tell me, you have to tell me why you've done this for that specific test scenario. Okay, so you're going to do the entire in fact, even before you get there, right from test cases steps. Okay, test data, any use cases, again it's the same intent. You can either, I'm just trying to use it interchangeably in this case as test cases and use cases. You can do either one, that's fine, but the idea is the functionality translated into it. All right, all these manual steps, and then all manual test cases need to be created by the team members. So each of you will have to create this. Now if you're a team of 5 people, then you may say that you may discuss within yourself and decide who takes which page or which section and creates the test cases. That is fine, you have to divide that work, and that is where a lot of coordination, a lot of teamwork will come into play, team. And trust me, you will face a lot of challenges. There will be many areas that you will see that, hey, this person is not active, that person is not responsive, I am not able to catch up because other people seem to be knowing more, I'm being left out, I am not able to join because of my circumstances. Doesn't matter, there is nothing as an excuse. Why? Go back to fundamentally why we are doing this project. Number one, yes, this is from my perspective. Okay, this is my selfish interest. But what is your selfish motive? What is it that you should be aiming at? Actual hands-on experience, and this will really boost what you have as a skill, what you have as your confidence level. Now you may also want to do some frameworks. Okay, you can talk about simple things like functional decomposition, or you can talk about data driven. All right, I don't believe we should get into a keyword driven or a hybrid framework yet. Okay, I think we should try and limit ourselves to data driven. That is fine, is what my perspective is. However, if a team has done significantly well in covering all these, then we can talk about getting into a keyword driven. Otherwise we should not. All right, now as part of this, you can use your MS Office. All right, Excel for maintaining test cases, etc. Okay, I have no problem if you want to use a Jira or Bugzilla or any other free any open source tools for your as for test management, overall test management. Okay, that is fine, your call. Decide within your team, do what you want, but know that this is optional, is okay, and but optional. But so basically, if you come and tell me that, hey, I'm sorry, we could not do Selenium WebDriver, Java JNet, or do a functional decomposition or a data driven framework, then it's a problem. But if you say that we didn't use Jira or Bugzilla, then it's not a problem. The reason is the intent for in this is more in here. Okay, this is your more main focus team. Nothing else is more focus than of important focus than this. I'm going to in fact put this into red highlight here. Okay, I know too much red. Oops. Let's give the color. All right, there you go. So that's at a high level. We will further fine tune as we go. We will have meetings every 2-3 days, and we'll work on it. So time frame, overall time frame is 2 to 3 weeks. We will not stretch beyond. So what does that mean? We will try and end by 31st is let's assume the first week. Oops. 7th, by 7th of Feb. What are the dates here? 31st the Jan is too early. By 7th of Feb. Okay, 7th of Feb we will try and accomplish it. Okay, teams will meet daily for 2 to 3 hours. Okay, will meet daily for that you decide. Okay, 30 minutes at least. So how you interact, you want to use Skype and all that is your call. At least team members shall work for 2 to 4 hours each day. Unless you put in this effort, this project will not get completed. You will not get the results of what you expect. Okay, then we will have group meetings every 2 to 3 days. So this will help us to revise and give where we are, right? Teams to present in these sessions on their progress. So you have to give a walkthrough of what you're doing, how you're doing, all right? And as needed, Manoj will provide tech support and guidance as needed. I'm not shut away from it. I'll just say Manoj plus Karthik. Manoj is the single point owner, single point of contact, but as needed, he will also pull me into it. Okay, that's the idea. Project teams. So this is something that Manoj, you're working on. You will be doing this with the other members. All right. Okay, Manoj. So what will be the criteria of dividing team? Yes, one will be the location. So if there are participants from UK, Europe, or Australia or India in specific time zone, then we will try and group them into one. If there are participants who are in the East Coast and so on, we may group them into one. Participants in the West Coast may be grouped under one. Okay. So that's the idea. Manoj will be working on the project teams, and then we will also try and distribute it in such a way that out of, let's say, 5 or 6 members in each project, 2 or 3 will have very, very good skill. One participant may be at the bottom end in terms of learning curve, but you would not know who is ranked where. You would be working together. We will try and mix it that way so that you will be able to interact. Number 1 is open rules. We will just stick to strong ethics. We'll stick to strong teamwork. Okay, no what that finger pointing. Okay, very positive attitude. Okay, uh, and then you will not no give ups. Give up? No give up. How do I say this? No quits. Okay, you're not going to quit and say that, hey, you know what, I can't do it now, or hey, I can't attend, and so on. You have to make room, because just 2 or 3 weeks team, and you'll really do build a lot of things. So be a sport, please. Don't be anyone who's pulling the entire team down, and be someone who's project and goal driven. Anytime you have an issue, then you go back and see what it is, and reach out as needed for escalation, all right, or issue management. Wherever you see there's an issue, or there is a challenge that you're facing, reach out to Manoj or me. Reach out to M plus K, Manoj plus Karthik, as needed. Okay, there you go, team. So this is at a high level what we're planning to do now. Let's see. In all the questionnaires team questions right now, if they're not answered earlier to whatever it is, start putting them now. I'm going to put it into a Word doc, and we're going to start taking it from there. So Manoj, what I'm going to do is, can you, okay, you'll be creating the document, so I will just create a Word doc now. I'm going to do a new project. There you go. I'm starting with, so team, as the questions are coming in, I'm going to copy them and start putting it. Okay, and I'll answer verbally, but we will also put this into the Word doc, which will be shared with everyone, and you can take it. Okay, team. So all questions, please put them here. Daily status update to team lead and leads weekly, or daily status updates to product owner. What will happen is, the where the documents, your updates will all be in the common repository, in the common folder, which will be the Google Drive. So I will be able to see, Manoj will be able to see what is happening directly. So you don't have to send anything to us. All right, we will go directly there and see it. Second thing, anything that you do within your team can be daily. Anything that you do, we do as a team together as a group, will be once every 2-3 days. Hope QA on air is stable, so we don't need to do manual testing, and no changes will be done, will be going on during this project time. Any role based testing is there in this AUT. So Vani, QA on air is stable. It is not breaking from that point of view. Will changes happen? Absolutely yes. All right, that is the idea. While you're testing, the changes are going to happen. I didn't want to really tell it in this session, but it is good you asked the questions. I'm answering it. Changes will happening while you're testing it manually or automation. As the change happens, how do you go about making changes to your scripts, to your frameworks, to your test cases, and so on? The whole process will be done. You will be put to a lot of challenges. Okay, that's the idea. We want to expose you to as much challenge as possible. QA on air between client and consultant. So Veena, first thing, do a walkthrough. Second thing, in the next session, I will do a more detailed walkthrough using test data of what and how. Then I'll be able to answer that question more. So for now, make sure that you go through this project. Is between client and consultant? It's not a correct question. The other things, team, is I want you to put your questions in a very correct manner so that it's easy to understand. QA on air is, of course, between the client and consultant. Okay, the end thing is it's a consulting thing. Okay, so we're trying to get the right people recruited into the client projects. That is the idea. But go through that. There is a lot of content already on the application that will help you do a detailed walkthrough. All right, right on the front page, you will see a lot of information. Any more questions? Will we be working on GUI only, or will we be working on middle layer and backend also? So not too much of backend for this. not because the time frame is low, and also the databases are integrated with our CRM system that you will not have access to. That is the reason we cannot do that. So uh, you will be working on the UI. It is more UI based functional testing. How to contact Manoj for technical question? Manoj will be sharing his email, and and he'll be checking, responding to these emails daily, so you can write to him. In fact, his email is manoj@itelearn.com. All right, my email is karthik@itelearn.com. But team, one of the bad things that happens with me is my emails are like a black box. They go in, but very little gets visible just because of the number of emails that get carried into it. So please try and contact Manoj. Only if needed, mark me on it. Let's see. Hold on to your questions for a second. I'm not able to copy this. All right, team, I'm going to take last 4 or 5 questions and then we will see you in the next session. But let me quickly go through it. Let's see. Igor, do we have a doc for site updates and changes? Some notifications about this? Notification by email or via some doc? Yes. So as the application will go through any changes, you will get the notifications for it. In fact, I will be having, when I'm doing this walkthrough, I will have another team member who knows a lot about how we are building this entire thing, and you can ask all your questions related to the application to them. Okay, the it may not be as a very formal document, Igor. It will be more like pointers or email updates that will say that, hey, this is what we're doing right now. If me or anyone in the team is not up to speed, then is it the team responsibility to make them understand? So very simple, team. Someone who's doing well will get recognized and they'll shine in the project. Someone who's not will have to face more challenges eventually in the next project and so on. The idea is the project team should be successful and the project. Each of the project teams will be doing exactly the same thing. So let's say we have about 5 teams or 6 teams. Each of the 6 teams will be doing exactly the same thing. So you will be able to see what other teams are doing as well. And you are competing in the output overall as a team. So if someone is pulling down the speed of the overall team, tell them that they need to be more as a listener, and you may not want to assign too much direct tasks to them. You may want to do it as per their comfort level. In fact, what will happen is every 3-4 days you could talk about a coordinator who will be working with you. Okay, who will be deciding on each of these things, as to who is supposed to be doing this and so on. Are we expected to pay anything for the courses over the next 2-3 weeks? Kesha, I'm not sure if you have gone through the initial sessions and so on. You'll have to contact the sales team. Send an email and come back on that, please. Let's focus only on the project for this. Are we going to have access to all technical articles, videos that we may need during building up the test scripts? Parikshit, you have access to everything. You have access to the video library. You have access to all the recordings that we have done. You will have access to even these videos that we are doing. How will it go? Like, we have the test cases ready, then how the review will be done. So you will be doing a walkthrough. So you will show that, okay, here is what we have done as part of team ABC or whatever. And you will say that, okay, these are the different things that we have done. These are the test cases. Here's how we built. We will look at it, we will scan through it, and we will give you a feedback. In fact, we will be also doing that by looking at the Google Drives as we go along. All right. All right, team. I'm going to take last couple of questions and then we'll end up for the day. The remaining questions, keep them flowing. Manoj will be sharing the document. Manoj, when can you share the document, please? And you can start putting the questions there. Answers will be provided to you in that document directly. Rajiv, okay. Will there be any scope defined for what we need to automate, what we need to test manually? That is left for you. You decide. You tell me what you are plan to automate, what you plan to do manually, and then you have to back it up by saying why you have done that. Okay. The reason is very simple. You will go through a thought process, a thinking of why are we trying to automate it? What is the benefit of it? What is the time frame provided? Is this application in a state to automate this specific process? Is there a return on investment. All those things will get evaluated. Okay. So we can start making test plan doc. Absolutely. Whatever is there here, you can start making it. However, it is good to do it after the team is divided as a team. But why don't you start at least building skeleton? Try and search for a template or see what test plans will have typically and start filling it in. Team, test plan. Do not spend all your time in the test plan. The test plan should have exactly all that information like I've shown in the earlier document, which will say what is it that we will do, who's going to be doing what is the scope, what are the tools and applications we will use, what are the time frames, what is expected out of it, all that information. Okay. Hi Karthik, are we getting the task list via email or saved in the Google Drive? Zita, the task is given to you already. Done. There is nothing more to be given from our side to you except for a detailed application walkthrough. Now you have to keep coming back to us and showing us what you're doing as part of the project execution. All right. And all that you will do, you will be putting it into the Google Drive. You don't have to even email it to us. We will directly go and look at it in the Google Drive. Okay. Last question before we end the session for today. Can we use Selenium with WebDriver and Java TestNG in this project? Absolutely, why not? You can. I have nothing against TestNG or JUnit. From my perspective, both are same because end of the day, I go extensively into core Java, and that is what I would love to see from everyone. And the more you can do as part of programming and coding and core Selenium WebDriver concepts, the better it is for everything, for overall. All right. Oops. I'm going to save this. So Manoj, how should we make it happen? Team Q&A. In terms of should I create a folder, or why don't you create a folder? Then I'll upload these documents into that folder, and then you can start sharing that same folder with everyone, please. All right.
Karthika, I have already created that document,
Oh yeah,
and
you
I think
created
I'll.
the folder, right? You shared it with me, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to put it
Okay.
there. And the other thing that happens is sometimes there are Google Docs, and then there are in the Google Doc format, and then there is Microsoft Office format. I think we should try and retain one. All right. All right. Thanks, everyone. That's it from my side.
I think
Sorry. Go ahead, Manoj.
just saying, Karthik, means we will use that Google Doc and mostly not these
I think it's better
MS
that
Excel
way
or
we
MS.
can do direct online editing. Correct?
Yeah, yes, Karthik.
Okay, so I'm going to put it like this as is document. Then can you just make sure that we put it into the right format into the Google Drive, please? At least this
Okay,
document that
sure.
we created so far. All
Sure,
right.
Karthik.
Thank you. I've already put Manoj's email ID and my email ID somewhere here. Team. All right. Thank you, everyone. Sanjeev, if you're from India, that's fine. There will be other participants, hopefully also from India, or you will look at someone who's in UK or Australia in that time zone and interact. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending, participating. In case there is no session tomorrow, or there may be a session tomorrow, you will get to know via the go to training at least an hour before the session, team. Okay. The only reason is I want to make sure that we have completed few other tasks before that. And the application walkthrough, if I can do it, or I can have someone else from my team do it, and so on. All this I need to check the timings and let you know. Right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And we will see you in the next session. Thank you all. Bye now. Thanks, Manoj.
Karthik, and thank you all. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.